New Year's resolutions or goals, whatever you want to call them, I feel like they get such a bad rap. And honestly, I feel like it's people who don't accomplish anything. They're the ones that are talking the worst about them. I don't know about you, but I love like the new year. I love what it signifies: a new beginning, a fresh start, a new opportunity to right some wrongs, a time to reinvent yourself. I love that. Leading up to the new year, I started planning. I started figuring out, okay, what are some goals that I have, you know, in different aspects of my life: spiritual, financial, physical. I made some goals of things that I wanted to achieve, and I was super pumped. Sent it to my friends, talked about it with some other friends. Like, I didn't make it it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal. You know what I mean? And now we're day 3. I don't know when you guys are gonna see this, but today it's January 3rd, and I'm kind of like, okay, so we have to do everything that we said we were gonna do. And sometimes it can be paralyzing. I would find myself in this vicious cycle of being super pumped and super, you know, jazzed to do, you know, whatever I set out to do. And then I would not be doing things at the rate that I wanted them to be done, or at the quality that I wanted it to be done. So then I would just be like, oh, forget this is kind of lame. And then I realized, oh my goodness, Anna, you were doing like a pretty good job, but you know, I feel so behind. And then I realized it's too late. I haven't made any progress because, you know, I thought I wasn't doing well, but I was actually doing well. And then I realized that I'm like a huge failure, and then I just kind of hide under the covers and I'm like, forget this, why did I even try? Like, why? And I've been in this vicious cycle for, honestly guys, for like 8 years. 8 years. That's a long time. There are children that are 8 years old, full-grown kids that are 8. And it's like, I'm done. I'm over it. What does it do for me? It doesn't do anything for me. In November, I went to a women's night at Hillsong Toronto, and the message that was preached, it was entitled, "Come Out of the Shadows, Daughter of Zion." And that really resonated with me, because I would have to say for the past 2 to 3 years, especially in university, like I wasn't living to my full potential. I wasn't doing things that I really wanted to do. I was kind of, you know, going with the motions, or just taking a step back because I felt like I wasn't deserving, or I felt like I had already made too many mistakes, so I shouldn't have a position. And it's like, do you know what? No, that's not good. That doesn't do anything for anyone, because I know the ability that I have within me, and I know the amazingness that's in me, and it doesn't make sense for me to hold on to that because what? I feel like I don't deserve it. No, we're not. No. It's a dub. We're not doing that. I have done so much self-sabotaging, and it has costed me a lot, and I don't want to do that anymore. I'm done. I'm not doing this. I'm not living in the shadows anymore. I'm not withholding myself because I don't think that I'm not good enough. I'm done. I don't know about you, but I like having a word or a phrase for the month. So if you couldn't tell, my phrase for the month, or for the year, sorry, not the month, is come out of the shadows. Come out of the shadows to me means it's time for you, Anna, to do things that you've always wanted to do. Be creative wise, whether it be a trip that I've always wanted to take, whether it's, you know, giving myself a fitness goal. Like, it's time for me to come out of the shadows and start living. Be taking a course, or traveling to somewhere, or talking to someone we're interested in, or launching a blog. Whatever it is, we're going to do it. We're not living in the shadows. We're not gonna keep thinking that we're not good enough. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. I find that a lot of the times we compare our beginnings to people's ends or middles, and it doesn't make sense. Everything has a beginning. The biggest fashion line, or the biggest blogger, or this tree that I'm looking at in my backyard, everything has a beginning. So just because your beginning doesn't look like someone's end or middle doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, because it doesn't make sense for you to be comparing your beginning to someone else's end or middle. It's nonsense. We're not doing that, sis. We're done. We're done. I don't know if this is too boasty, but I'm gonna say it. January 31st, 2019. That's a date I'm giving to you guys. Whatever that thing is that you've always wanted to do, a blog, a fashion line, I don't know, anything, paying off a bill, whatever it is, January 31st, 2019, that thing should be done, or you should have launched it or started it. So whether it be, you know, paying back, you know, your credit card bill, starting by January 31st, you should have started. If it's a blog, by January 31st, that thing should be launched. If it's talking to someone, by January 31st, you should have slid in those DMs, okay? We're not doing any of this waiting for the right time. To be honest with you, that doesn't exist, especially in matters like this. There's no right time. So you just gotta do it. Stop overthinking, stop overplanning. I am a master of that. I have 4 notebooks. What? For why? Like, we're not doing that anymore. We're just gonna do. It's time to come out of the shadows and execute and do what we have to do. That's it. Period. I haven't been living life with intention. I've just been doing things, and I no longer want to do that. I've thought long and hard about things that I want to do, things that I put on my list, and do you know what? I'm gonna do it. So for me, coming out of the shadows is doing things I want to do, and one of them is YouTube. And you know, I want to create content, whether it be on YouTube or on social media. I want to create content that is real and engaging and authentic. I felt like this for a while, but I feel like people aren't real about things. You know what I mean? And do you know, we're all going through the same thing, but no one wants to talk about it. Whether it be dating in 2018, sis, that's something. Whether it be dating or, you know, figuring out your relationship dynamic with your parents while you're getting older. Like, there's so many things that we're all going through, especially for me and my friend group. My friend group are pretty open, but it's like there are young people everywhere, and I feel like there isn't enough conversation on things. You know what I mean? So whatever content I produce, whether it be on YouTube or on social media, wherever, I just want it to be real and engaging, because I feel like I've been called to use my voice to talk about things, to get people to have conversations. I feel like that's what I've been called to do. So do you know what? 2019 for me is coming out of the shadows and doing things that I've been called to do, doing things that I've been intended to do, doing things that I've been purposed to do. There's none of this, we're just floating around and doing whatever comes to us. No. I'm going to step into my calling and do, ooh, this is so preachy. I'm not sorry. You're getting it. But I'm going to do that, and I think you should do that too. Something that I want, you have something that you want. By January 31st, 2019, I want to blank. Write that down. I'm gonna put a template on my Instagram if you would like that, and post it in your stories so that people can hold you accountable. By January 31st, I want to start a fashion line. By January 31st, I want to have a brand deal. I work in media, so that's why I'm talking about all these media things, but figure out what it is for you. By January 31st, I want to pay half of my credit card bill. By January 31st, I want to have gone to the gym 4 times. Figure out what it is that you want to do and get started on doing it. We're not overthinking anymore. We're not over planning anymore. We're not waiting for the perfect time. We're just gonna do things, because it's time for us to just do. We're just gonna execute. We're gonna do it, okay? So it's 2019. There's no time for you to waste. Just come out of the shadows and do what you gotta do. Do what you want to do. Do what you're purposed to do. Do what you intended to do.